May 19, 1917. Roger Nash Baldwin has founded the Bureau of Conscientious Objectors for the purpose of helping draft dodgers develop practical strategies of resistance and to provide them with financial and legal support. On October 1, 1917, he renamed the organization, this time as the National Civil Liberties Bureau. Soon afterwards, the post office would declare his propaganda unmailable because of its radical and subversive views. His offices were then raided by the FBI and its files confiscated. 12 days later, Roger was called to register for the draft. He resisted the draft and was promptly arrested and brought to trial. While in court, he professed his commitment to anarchism and his allegiance to socialist reform. He was then sentenced to a year in the penitentiary. After his release from prison, he set about trying to salvage what was left of his Civil Liberties Bureau. On January 20, 1920, Roger Baldwin moved to offices on West 13th Street in New York and shared them with the Communist Party's New Masses tabloid. He also reincorporated and renamed it for the third and final time as the American Civil Liberties Union, or the ACLU. Some of the original members of the ACLU were Norman Thomas, who was 6 times the Socialist Party's candidate for president; William Foster, chairman of the Communist Party USA; Max Eastman, editor of the Communist Party's paper, The Masses; Harry Ward, who, according to the Congressional Record, maintained membership and affiliation with over 200 Communist or Communist Front organizations; and Clarence Darrow, who dazzled the nation as a flamboyant and articulate defense attorney and anti-Christian crusader. During the first 60 years, a full 90% of the cases that the ACLU defended involved communists. As a result, the ACLU was stigmatized as a Communist Front organization itself. Roger Baldwin stated,
"I am for socialism, disarmament, and ultimately for abolishing the state itself as an instrument of violence and compulsion. I seek social ownership of property, the abolition of the propertied class, and sole control by those who produce wealth. Communism is the goal. It all sums up into one single purpose, the abolition of dog-eat-dog under which we live."
Roger Baldwin would also join scores of front organizations, which years later, in 1976, he would admit were essentially recruiting centers for the Communist Party.